Good morning, everybody. Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th, 2026. Live tonight at 6:30 p.m. from Santa Clara, California, home of the San Francisco 49ers. You're watching NASR. I'm Billy D. And we got a lot to talk about this morning. We're down to the final game. The final game. We hope you guys have enjoyed the pick segments all year. You can call in, text in your picks at 203-451-3379. Like always, you can follow us on our YouTube channel and comment on the chat. By the way, all music played today I own the rights to. That's for the Facebook and Internet Police. Wild America music playing, written by me and my boy, so I have rights to it, so don't flag me for that. Once in a while we will play some other music, and I like to give a little musical artist every now and then some pub. Big game, the line is still Seahawks -4.5. The over-under is 45.5. It has not moved for 2 weeks. It has stayed the same. Now, there are a lot of people thinking that the Patriots are going to get spanked. They've had the easiest schedule in the NFL all year. We know that. Oh, well, everything broke right for them. They played a banged-up Charger team. Oh, they played Houston with their quarterback in a slump. All true. Oh, they played the Broncos with a backup quarterback, and then a snowstorm broke out. Also true. Yeah, did things break right for the Patriots? Yes. Did the Chargers still have a great defense? Yes. Did the Houston Texans have a great defense? Yes. And they were able to beat those teams. Okay, Drake May did not play stellar. The Texans game, he lost. He lost 2 fumbles. He threw a pick. The same with the Chargers. He lost a fumble. He threw a pick. But every time he makes these mistakes, what does he do? The Charger game, he bounced back with a pivotal touchdown run and a pivotal touchdown throw. He bounces back. He makes plays when things don't go his way. He ended up throwing for 270 yards against the Chargers. He ended up throwing for 3 touchdowns against the Houston Texans. So, he has a penchant for making the big plays when they're needed. And listen, he's young, and this has, been, experience. He's gained experience throughout the playoffs playing in these big games, and they won the playoff games, 2 of them at home, 1 on the road, and the experience grows with each victory. So I'm not going to, that whole the Patriots had a soft schedule. You play who you got to play. This is still the NFL. These guys are professionals. They're here because they deserve to be here. On the other hand, obviously the Seahawks have looked dominant. They had to go through a very tough Los Angeles Rams team. But one thing that Matthew Stafford and the Rams did show is you can move the ball on that Seahawk defense. Now, the Seahawk defense is excellent. I'm not saying they're not. But let's not make them out to be the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. You know what I'm saying? They're not the 07 Giants. They're very good. I don't think that they're impregnable. Now, lots of people think that Drake May is going to really struggle. I know a lot of people are on the Seattle -4.5. I am not. We're going to go through some picks, but I am going to take the Patriots +4.5 today. I think the game is going to be, 24-20, 23-20, 27-23. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think the Seahawks will win the game. I wouldn't stake my life on it, but I am going to pick the Patriots +4.5. So that's my first play, is New England +4.5. I am going to take the Seattle money line -240. That's a risky pick because you're betting $250 $40 to win 100. It's actually minus 238 is the exact number. We got some messages coming in right now. People sending their picks in. At Mike 1731 likes the Seahawks 28-17 minus, so he likes the points. I do not. I am taking the Patriots plus 4.5. I'm taking Seattle money line. I am taking the Patriots and the over in a teaser, which will make the Patriots plus 10.5. That over under is 45.5. I do think the game is going to fall under, but I'm going to tease that to 51.5. I'm going to take New England plus the 10.5 and 51 under 51.5. I got the Pats straight. I also have the Seahawks money line. So if I'm taking the Seahawks in a money line, I'm going to take the Seahawks in a teaser plus 1.5 with that same under 51.5 over under. You know what, actually? Yeah, that's our 4 plays. So we have both sides in a teaser. It's the under 51.5 that we're looking at. I think that the two defenses are going to play well enough to keep this game right around 24-20, 27-23. I would take the under straight at 45.5. It's a little risky. I don't have to do that now because I have them in 2 teasers. I don't want to. You never want to pile the same pick 2, 3, 4 times in a row. If you're going to play a variety of plays on your DraftKings and do responsible wagering, never bet more than you could afford to lose. We always endorse DraftKings and FanDuel, but again, we also endorse responsible wagering. We have done this all year with you. We went 39, 29, and 2. We hit college at 60% this year. Very good. We had a roller coaster year in the NFL, but we are 85, 85, and 1 in our NFL picks. 85, 85, and 1. We gave you 171 plays this year. And again, we always encourage responsible wagering. Never chase your plays. Never bet more than you could afford to lose. And like I said, myself, I've had fun this year. I'm pretty much right around even on my DraftKings, which is where you want to be. If you can go 6 months of fun wagering and not lose any money, you're doing pretty good. So we have Seattle money line. We have the Patriots plus 4.5. We have New England plus 10.5, under 51.5, and Seattle plus 1.5 and under 51.5. Those are the 4 plays. Will we finish over 500 for the year? Will we finish over 500? This is the final game, the final week. We've given you our 4 plays. The Hawks money line, the Patriots plus 4.5, the Patriots and the under teased under 51.5, and the Seahawks and the under teased at 51.5. So if this game is 35-31, I'm screwed. I could still grab the other 2 plays, but I'm screwed with those 2 teaser plays. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Injury reports. Now, I looked at this before. There is no notables that are injured in this game. I looked at it before. Now, earlier in the week, you were hearing about, well, actually, it's been 2 weeks. So you heard about Sam Darnold's oblique. Then you heard about Drake May had a shoulder injury from the AFC Championship game. Now, Drake May has practiced fully all week, so he is fine. Now, Darnold was a little bit limited in practice, but you know what? He had the same injury against the Rams in the NFC Championship game, and he played fantastic. So it's not going to be an issue. There is one questionable fullback, Robbie Oust. He's nobody. He probably wouldn't even play it anyway. So there's nobody on the Seahawk injury report. Now, earlier in the week, I did say their safety, Nick Emenwari, had sprained an ankle about 6 days ago, and they actually saw him limp off the practice field and limp into the team hotel. He is a full go, and that was a worry because, the secondary of the Seahawks with Devon Witherspoon and Rick Woolen and Julian Love and Nick Warrior, very big. Every one of them is integral to the back end for Seattle, and if one of them was out, it would be a weakness. Also, Kobe Bryant in there as well. They have a fine secondary. Now, listen, it's not Darrell Green and Deion Sanders, but they're very good. But like I said, if I'm the Patriots, I studied the Rams' offensive game plan. And I know Matthew Stafford is Matthew Stafford, and Puka Nacua is Puka Nacua. And I'm not saying that maybe the Patriots' weapons match up with that, but the Patriots are not devoid of weapons either. Drake May, okay, he hasn't been stellar in the playoffs, but he always bounces back when he makes mistakes. Like I said, he had the one game where he threw the pick and he had the 2 fumbles, and he bounces back with the 3 touchdown passes. He had the other game where he fumbled the ball 3 times. I think one of them against San Diego, he fumbled the ball twice. Also threw a pick early in that game that led to, it led to nothing because the Chargers went for it on 4th down and were stopped by the defense. But you remember, he threw the pick on a batted ball early in the Charger game that gave the Chargers the ball at the 11-yard line, and they couldn't convert that into points. But then he throws a rope to Hunter Henry in that game for a touchdown later in the game. He always bounces back. Always bounces back from a mistake. And that's what I love about him. He'll turn the ball over twice, and then it's a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. He'll turn the ball over twice, and then he throws 3 touchdowns. I mean, listen, I get it. The Houston game, he fumbles the ball twice, kills a drive, throws a pick, but then what does he do in the second half? He threw 3 touchdowns for the game. He threw 2 ropes in the second half for touchdowns, and he leads you to victory. Okay, Denver game, only throws for 86 yards. Rushes for 65 yards. And all the big carries came in big moments. A big 3rd down play. Another big 3rd down play. He got the Patriots out of their own end on a big scramble for over 20 yards. Then he gets a 3rd down and 9 to ice the game. He had big rushing plays in that game. Their only touchdown. Rushing touchdown. You know what I mean? He made the plays when needed. With that weather, you weren't going to throw the ball 25 times. You weren't throwing the ball for 250 yards. He makes the plays necessary to win the game. Yes, he's a young player who's turned the ball over too much. I've heard a lot of people getting on Drake May for his poor performance in the playoffs, and I'm here to tell you, it hasn't been as poor as people are making it out to be. He is 3-0 in 3 playoff starts, and like I said, 270 yards passing against the Chargers, 2 total touchdowns after bouncing back from the turnovers earlier in the game, the fumble, the pick. 3 turnovers against Houston. He bounces back with 3 touchdown passes. He's learning, and now he's got 3 games under his belt, and he's going to be better for it. He's going to be better for it because whatever mistakes he made, he was able to find ways to win these games and help his team win these games. Obviously, their defense has a lot to do with it. Their defense has played great. And that's another reason why I think this game is going to be close. The Seahawks are not the only team with an excellent defense in this game. I mean, let's go over it. Edge, I'd say experience, edge at quarterback goes to the Seahawks. Offensive line definitely goes to the Seahawks. That's where the Patriot weakness is. Will Campbell, their fine rookie tackle, is healthy again, but the Patriots are young on the O-line. That's where their weakness is. The running backs, Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson, very good. Kenneth Walker on the other side for the Seahawks, also very good. I give the running edge to Seattle because of their offensive line. So quarterback, O-line. Receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba is the best player on the field today. But as a core, okay, Shaheed is also excellent, and he's kick return game. That's probably also advantage Seahawks. But I will say this. The Patriots also have weapons. I might give the overall receiving core edge to Seattle, but not by much. Demario Douglas has played fantastic. Butte and is played great for the Patriots. Diggs, we know about Diggs. They've got weapons, and they've developed over the year with the help of Drake May at QB. You make players around you. A great quarterback makes players around you better. Remember last year when the Patriots were 4-13 and people are saying they had no weapons? Now granted, Douglas and Butte are young players, but they've developed. Butte's made big plays time and time again for Drake May this year. Stephon Diggs is a veteran. So, and Hunter Henry is an excellent tight end. I give the edge at tight end to the Patriots. Overall receiving core, I give the edge to the Seahawks. Running game, I give the edge to Seahawks because of their offensive line. But narrow advantage. Narrow advantage. Special teams, because of Shaheed at wide receiver and kick returner, I'd probably give the advantage to the Seahawks. But Borregales at kicker, Jason Myers at kicker for the Seahawks, both very good kickers. I'd probably give the special teams advantage also to the Seahawks, but narrowly. Defensively, Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis, very good in the secondary for the Patriots. I'd probably give the Seahawks there an advantage, narrowly. They have Ernest Jones at linebacker, but you know what? Don't underrate the front seven of the Patriots. You got guys like Christian Ellis and former Super Bowl champion Milton Williams, who came from Philly, one of the great free agent signings. They're going to come to play. So, like I said, most of the categories, we said running game with the offensive line. The best receiver on the field will be Jackson Smith-Njigba. A small advantage at quarterback with the experience of Darnold. I'd say tight end, I like Hunter Henry. Patriots get the advantage there. I think special teams is very close. The kickers are a wash. Return game might be a slight edge to Seattle. So you can see why a lot of people have Seattle, and a lot of people are favoring Seattle, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I do think the Seahawks are going to win the game. I'm going to go with the 24-23. 24-23 Seattle, or 27-24 Seattle, something like that. 24-20 Seattle, but it's going to be I think it's going to be a great game that we're all going to be excited by and we're going to love watching. It's not going to be a dud Super Bowl, so get ready for that. So we gave you our matchups where we feel there are edges. Now listen, granted, most of the edges I gave narrowly to the Seahawks, but here's the one intangible. Sam Darnold has buried a lot of his ghosts this year. Okay, we know that. Now, if some things don't go his way or go wrong for him, or all of a sudden there's a bad pick, there's a bad fumble, how does Sam react to that? How does he react to that? Drake May's young. He don't know nothing for nothing. He's played in 3 playoff games. He's won all 3 of them. He's just going to throw caution in the wind, probably not think too much. Sam's got the experience, and now he has finally had a run. 2nd straight regular season, he's been dynamic. He's had a great run through the playoffs. Now, people can't say that Sam can't win the big one. He's thrown a lot of that in the trash, and good for Sam Darnold. But what happens if he throws a bad pick? Do some of those ghosts start to creep back in his head? I don't know. Could be something to keep an eye on. I'm just saying, if a couple of turns don't go his way, I'd be interested to see how he responds. I've got some people here sending me some pics. JS 1974 likes the Seahawks as well. We got another one here, loves the Patriots, go Pats. Didn't really give me a pick, but so the other thing we had spoke about earlier in our previous show was the whole Hall of Fame snub by Belichick. Now, of course, now you know that Kraft didn't get in either. Now, it does seem like they are penalizing them for the Spygate, and I did say to you guys, that's just a bunch of bullshit. Every single team did filmings and tapings and stuff like that. You know, you heard Jimmy Johnson on with Colin Cowherd. He said every team was doing it. He knew coaches on all different squads that were doing it. Everybody was trying to get a competitive edge back then. They weren't the only ones doing it. They were just the only ones that got caught doing it. And he really doubted how much that really had to do with any of it. It's so hard to implement and so hard to pull off, even if you have the footage. And Jimmy really scoffed at that when he was on with Colin and a few other shows that I heard him on. So the inductees this year are Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Roger Craig, the former great Niner running back. You guys know about, obviously, who Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald is. Kicker Adam Vinatieri and Luke Kuechly, linebacker. So those are the five that got in. There are some people that thought Belichick and Kraft would get in, not this year. Also, people have been wondering when Eli Manning is going to get the call. Not yet for Eli, although when you've beaten the greatest quarterback in the history of football twice in the Super Bowl, I do think that Eli's day will eventually come, for sure. We also have all 10 coaching jobs, or should I say coaching vacancies, have been filled in the NFL. And you know what? I should have had this out. We're going to go over that too. New head coaches in the NFL. I got a lot of people sending in pics. This is an interesting message that somebody sent me. Okay, I guess I'll go over this before we go to the head coaching hire. So somebody sent me a message asking, hey Billy, when are you going to go back to playing guitar and not just talking about sports? Interesting. Okay, well, a lot of you guys know, and you know, sometimes you'll also hear me. I play my music on here, and we always mix a little rock and roll with the show. But a lot of you guys know that I was a touring, recording musician for many years, and I did step away recently from music. And the reason I did that was because I run various businesses that take a lot of my time, and eventually working 11, 12-hour days and 60-hour plus weeks is just too much for me to do and then give music my full focus. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've been away from the stage now for 7 months, and I love not being there. I do. I don't miss it. I just look like I gave up a job. It was, to me, just another job. And I never say never. I may return one day, but it's not going to be any time in the near future. So for those of you messaging me, asking me when I'm getting back to playing music, don't hold your breath, because it's not going to be anytime soon. Now, Wild America does have a new album coming out. The album is done. It's finished. I finished my stuff on it. It's just about getting the artwork done now, which I've sent out recently. And once we get the album artwork done and some pictures sorted, and we get the packaging done, the album itself, the audio is completed, and you will be getting a new Wild America album this year, probably before the end of the summer. I don't know if there's going to be any shows that follow up with that. I have no intention of returning to the stage right now. If a few shows presented themselves for Wild America, I would consider it. But that's all I have to say about that. There's no plans for me to return with Stairway to Healing, or the album is done though. That is coming out, so you are going to get some new Wild America this year, and you know, maybe a few shows will develop off of that. But I have no plans at the current time to play live or perform or tour or anything like that. But I never say never. It's not forever. It's just for now. And that's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Okay. So, some of the head coaching hires. We know that the Giants have John Harbaugh, and we love that. We think that is a great move for the Giants. John Harbaugh is going to bring the Giants back to respectability, and I am here to tell you I think the Giants are going to make the playoffs next year. Also, we have another one I like. Jesse Minter is the new head coach of the Ravens. This is a really good hire. I love Jesse Minter with the Ravens. We also have, let's see here. Let me get the full list. Okay. The Arizona Cardinals have signed Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur. So we got that. So we have Harbaugh. We have Harbaugh to the Giants. We have Jesse Minter to the Ravens. Now, you know Jesse Minter was the former Charger defensive coordinator, and he did an excellent job in Los Angeles for the Chargers. I like Mike LaFleur. He's got a great offensive mind. I think it's an upgrade. Good job by the Arizona Cardinals getting him. The Buffalo Bills signed Joe Brady. They just basically went in-house and they promoted their offensive coordinator. Joe did a good job, and he syncs up with Josh Allen well. I think it makes sense. I don't really think that, I don't know how they fire a coach that made the playoffs 9 years in a row. I mean, it's not his fault that, Josh Allen turned the ball over 5 times in the freaking playoff game. But, yeah, they were knocking on the door a lot, and they never could break through. So ownership said that was enough. So Joe Brady is the new coach in Buffalo. Cleveland Browns hired Todd Monken, the former Ravens offensive coordinator. I think Todd Monken is in for a shit show in Denver. They had a great defense. Jim Schwartz, their defensive coordinator, resigned from the team after he did not get the promotion. He was that pissed off. I think Todd Monken is going to be in for a rough time in Cleveland. His hopes are going to be pinned to Shedeur Sanders, at least for year one. The Miami Dolphins signed Jeff Hafley. He was the Packers defensive coordinator. I don't think that's what the Dolphins needed, but maybe he's not one of my favorite hires. I think the Dolphins needed somebody high profile, and hiring a defensive guy is also not what they needed when they need to find a way to reinvigorate that offense. I don't love the Hafley hiring for Miami. Mike McCarthy being signed to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, Mike's a good coordinator. He's not a great head coach. His teams always lack discipline. They're always among the top of the league in penalty yardage. I think you went lateral here. You were probably better off. Actually, you didn't even go lateral. You were better off keeping Mike Tomlin. You went 9 or 10 and what did you go? 9 and 8 with. The Steelers finished 10 and 7 on the season, 10 and 8 after the playoff loss. Well, you're going to go 8 and 9 with Mike McCarthy. Don't love that. Don't love that at all. Don't love that at all. The Atlanta Falcons have named Kevin Stefanski as their head coach. Stefanski has got to be thrilled to be out of Cleveland. I think he'll do a good job in Atlanta. He needs to get their young quarterback going, and I think he'll do that. Listen, he's injury prone. I'm drawing a blank on their quarterback. The kid from Washington who has had injury struggles. I did hear that they just released Kirk Cousins. Yeah, Kirk Cousins is going to be released before March 30th when his contract would kick in again. Michael Penix Jr. will be the guy this year for Atlanta, and that's why they got Stefanski at coach, because they need to get this young guy going. He showed some promise in year one. He kind of regressed last year. They need to find out if Michael Penix is their guy in Atlanta. Otherwise, you got to start looking for somebody else. So we got Stefanski in Atlanta. We like that. We like Jesse Minter in Baltimore. Joe Brady, I think it was terrible that they fired, what was his name? McDonough. I think that, listen, I think it was terrible that the Bills axe a guy who made the playoffs 9 freaking years in a row. This guy had more victories than, and I can't remember his freaking name. Sean McDonough, was that it? No, that's what is his name. Oh, Jesus. Gee whiz. Oh, well, you know what? I'm drawing a blank on the Buffalo Bills head coach. Joe Brady has been promoted from within. Let me find it. It's bothering me now. Sean McDermott. Thank you. Sorry, guys. So I think that Sean McDermott has won more games without making it to the Super Bowl than any coach in history. That's why he got fired. His head went into the guillotine, and that was why, because he won more games than any other coach over a 9-year span without making it to the Super Bowl. And he made it to playoffs every year. They win, 11, 12 games, 13 games every year, but he couldn't get him over the hump. And listen, against the Chiefs 2 years ago, they got screwed. The officiating cost them that game, and everybody knows it. They got screwed. That 4th and 1, they had 2 spot calls where they actually made first downs, and they were called short, and then the next play they didn't get them. Cost them the game. And then, of course, this year another bad call goes against him, where that initially I thought that was a good pick, but it did look like a strip after he hit the ground after I watched it 50 times. But I can't kill that call solely. I could say they got screwed in the Chiefs game 2 years ago, but I can't kill that call solely because Allen turned the ball over 5 times. As my friend Jeff Richardson said, he took a shit in his pants in the playoffs. He took a shit in his pants. You can't turn the ball over 5 times. I know he made plenty of other plays and played great in spots, but he turned the ball over 5 times. And then, and then Cook fumbles. They had 6 turnovers. You're not going to win a game with 6 turnovers. That's why the Bills lost. So you can't blame the officials this year. 2 years ago, you could blame the officials. And then all the years before that, you just ran into Pat Mahomes. And he was 1 play better than you. That's kind of tough for Sean McDermott to lose his job because of that. And Joe Brady is just, he's in good with Allen. That's why he got the job. I don't think he's going to be any better. I think it's a lateral move. But anyway, to wrap this up. Okay, so we like Stefanski in Atlanta. We like Minter in Baltimore. We think Joe Brady's a lateral move in Buffalo. We don't like Monken in Cleveland. I think he's going to be in over his skis. We don't like Hafley in Miami. We love John Harbaugh in the Giants. We also love Robert Saleh, who got the job for the Titans. And there's one more. It's not official yet. But Clint Kubiak, after this Super Bowl, the Seahawks offensive coordinator, is going to be the new head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. And let me tell you, Raider fans, you're going to be in for a treat. You're going to get Fernando Mendoza as your first pick in the draft. You're going to have, finally, for the first time in forever, you're going to have the head coach quarterback combo that you need to be successful. I think Mendoza is going to be a great pro. You're going to have the right coach, and the future will look bright. Now, look, Mendoza may take his lumps in year 1. It's not going to be easy right away, but I think you're finally, the Raider organization, Tom Brady helping out there as a part owner, finally there's cause for optimism. So, that wraps up our head coaching hires. You're up to date on all 10 coaching hires. We also like Robert Saleh in Tennessee, if I didn't mention. We love that. We love that. We really do. So, anyway, that is going to wrap things up for us here at NASR. It's been a great football season. We've had so much fun doing the picks with you, and today some people sent in their picks, mostly Seattle, one New England, people on the message board, yelling at me to get back to playing music. And we gave you our 4 picks. Seahawks money line, Patriots plus 4.5, Patriots and under 51.5 in a teaser, as well as the Seahawks under 51.5 in a teaser. Those are our 4 picks. See if we can have a winning season in the NFL. We're going into the final game at 85-1. Although we were 60% in college. We were on fire in college. We're going to hope we can have a good day today and finish with a winning record in pro football as well. So you guys Enjoy the Super Bowl. It's like an American holiday. I mean, eventually what's going to happen is they're going to move this up a week, and the Super Bowl will fall before Columbus Day, so the whole country has the day off the next day. That's what's eventually going to happen. The NFL's trying to get an 18-game regular season, but the Players Association keeps voting it down. They feel the season's long enough already. They may add an extra bye week in there because what they want is they want everybody to have the day off after the Super Bowl. So if the Super Bowl was next week, that Monday is Columbus Day. I think that's the goal. But anyway, you guys have a great time watching the Super Bowl. Hopefully you're with family and friends, and hopefully your team wins. And also, as far as the halftime show goes, I'm not even getting into that shit. I don't care about the halftime show. I don't even watch it. I'm here for the game. At our place, we're going to put like Van Halen or Kiss on YouTube or a rock concert on at halftime. But we're also going to be playing cards and having fun. We may just go fill our plates and refill our drinks again. But we don't care who's playing the halftime. We're not even watching it. So I don't give a shit about this bunny, that bunny, bad bunny. I could give a flying you-know-what about that. So don't get caught up in that. Don't argue with each other on Facebook over stupid shit, politics. None of that shit does any good. Stay away from that. Enjoy yourselves, enjoy your life. Worry about things that are important. Been a great football season. I'm going to see you Wednesday. We're going to do another hockey recap as the season is halted, and we're going to go over all the Olympic hockey rosters and get you ready for the start of the men's Olympic hockey on Thursday. So I'll see you Wednesday night. Wednesday night, we're going to come on at 6 o'clock. Now, we are going to do a show Monday to recap the Super Bowl. We're going to come on Monday night at 6 p.m. to do a Super Bowl recap and just see where we finished with the picks and wrap up the whole football season. So Monday at 6 p.m. and then Wednesday at 6 p.m. we're going to do the hockey show and get you ready for the Olympics. All right, guys? Enjoy the Super Bowl. I'm Billy D. I'm out of here. Don't forget to subscribe to that YouTube channel. See you guys later.